Hello, hello. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Sorry, I am tardy. Today was a day. I'm here. We here. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday. I'm still getting situated, but we here, baby. We live. Can y'all hear me? Are y'all there? If you're out there, say hello. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, March the 25th. I know I'm a little tardy tonight. I had some things that came up late this evening, a meeting that I must attended, and now I'm here. A little tardy, just a little bit, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. Y'all, Savannah is doing an interview on the Today Show. We got a couple other things that's going on with the war in Iran, and ICE is in the streets. So I'll say this: buckle up, hold on tight. It's going to be a doozy tonight. Let's go. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Unveil Vibrations, where we are coming together every Wednesday to have a conversation about what's happening in your reality. This is your weekly dose of reality with yours truly, Mr. TD, aka Unreal Vibrations, where either we're going to be talking about what's happening out there in this world, or I will be up here playing around with something musically, as this is about releasing to the world what has been on our minds quite often around the dinner tables, or was, you know, let's create a vibe to rock out to musically. As always, I appreciate you all coming through to the show. Tonight we have JoJo Speaks. It says, hey, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It's easy to do, people. It's free. All you gotta do is hit the button. It ain't gonna cost you a thing. Just do it. And yes, we started a little late tonight. I had a meeting I had to go to. It was mandatory. Needed to do it. So we started 30 minutes late because they ran over the time that they initially told me about. It happens. Meh, whatever. Hey, Aaron D is in a place to be indeed. She says, hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, Aaron D. Glad to see you. Hello. Hello. All right. Let me pull up my handy dandy notes from my Gigo. Drive us. Hey, man. Those of you are out there, you happen to see some stories, man, that you want to be featured here on Unveil Vibrations that we can have a conversation about, be sure to send me an email. It's simple, it's free. You can hit me up. We'll have the conversation. And in addition to that, you can reach me on Instagram and TikTok, Mr. TD McCollum. It'll say Unveil Vibrations on there. So when you find me, you know it's me. Because there's only one Unveil Vibrations. And that's me. Out there, I have 3 lovely singles that are available on all streaming platforms. And they are Groove With Me, my first initial single release, which is my original composition from the Washington, D.C. Go Go mixed with a little smooth jazz saxophone. And then I released Drunk on Love, a rendition of Rihanna's Drunk on Love from That Talk album. And we have Get Lifted, which is my rendition of John Legend's Let's Get Lifted from his Get Lifted album. All available right now. Now, I will be, hopefully, once I get my mind in a better state, releasing more. But in the time being, you can come here, check out me playing around. Um, I do that from time to time. Live stream musically is what I do. I'll also be here on Wednesdays nights, 8:30 ish. We can come chill. Let's vibe. Let's rock it out. Amen. Amen. All right. So now that I have what I need available, do I want to bring that over there or over here? I think I want it over here. Um, Too many screens. Because, here in the studio, in my lovely space here, we got it set up real nicely. Oh, wait. No, I need it over there. I'm tripping. I'll leave this up for your beautiful comments, people. All right. Without further ado, I will go to our first story tonight. So, if you've been living under a rock and completely unaware of what is going on out in the world, the most unfortunate thing happened to news anchor Savannah Guthrie. Her mom was kidnapped near the end of January, coming into the month of February, and she has disappeared without a trace. Unfortunately, they don't have any leads on her whereabouts, and there is very little evidence leading to something. And so, every time they had a break in the case, they would run to social media and the news, and unfortunately, at the end of all of that, goose eggs, nothing, zilch, nothing leading to her whereabouts, nothing leading to an update, nothing. And the family has been pretty turmoil over this because their mother is well up in age, like far up in age, and she has a pacemaker and she has to take certain medications, and she has been without them for more than 30 days. Recently, they dropped a snippet of Savannah doing a interview with her co-host, anchor, uh, what's this child name? Hoda, Hoda Kopi. And hearing her plea is something worth sharing. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Might have to tweak something on that. But here it is. from the Today Show. Hang on 1 second. I don't think you guys can hear that. Okay. Try it one more time. Hopefully this is better. Bam.
We are in agony. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are in agony. It is unbearable. Mm-hmm. And to think of what she went through. Mm-hmm. I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable, but those thoughts demand to be thought. Yeah. And I will not hide my face. Mm-hmm. That she needs to come home now. Yes. Someone needs to do the right thing.
Someone needs to do the right thing. Is the very thing that is the call, the cry out. Bring Nancy home. Release her to authorities. Release her. Give us some information and insight on where her whereabouts is. Let us know that she's okay or not okay. You know, it's a major problem right now for the Guthrie family because there's no answers. The cloud of sadness that Americans should feel for this family, I don't think they have, because America has been desensitized over and over and over again. And frankly, man, I think our exposure to certain things over social media and other aspects of politicians spinning narratives, however they want to, and then we end up with where we are right now, where those are real tears, and people out there are bold enough to say, "Ah, I don't believe her." I I don't understand the disconnect with humanity these days. I pray for this family to have the answers that they need come forth, the closure to come forth swiftly, because no one wants to go a lengthy amount of time without something, some type of resolution, some type of closing. And the question is, do you not think this family deserved that? Or are you in the space of, well, they're better off than me? They'll be all right. Food for thought. Let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. My next story. Over the weekend, we lost a legend, y'all. It is with great sadness I have to report the loss of Chuck Norris. Plotting his career, not his death. Chuck Norris was an amazing action star. All the way from him fighting against Bruce Lee, him being our Walker Texas Ranger, to one of his later roles in The Expendables, which to me is my favorite cameo of Chuck Norris, because, man, y'all got to see this. It is so amazing how comical and witty they wrote his dialogue for this scene. Over the years, there has been several like memes and all kinds of fable stories, tall tales given out there about Chuck Norris. And I think this is where it had reached its peak until recent. I'll dive into that after this, but check this out, man. This scene from Expendables where Chuck Norris comes on the scene, and it would just make you smile.
One left. Why not?
Yeah.
Who did that? Not me, I'm out.
Bonnie.
Don't freak out.
Hey, who is this cat?
Small world, huh, Barney?
Booker? Rumor had it you were dead.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Booker. You're the one people call the lone wolf?
I've been called that, but I have mellowed.
I have mellowed, meaning
Not that much.
legal with people.
I heard another rumor. that you were bitten by a king cobra?
Yeah, I was. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
What? The cobra died? Chuck Norris tough. You can't beat it.
Hey, Booker, great to see you.
The legend, Chuck Norris, man. Only he could deliver that line. Because like over the years there had been several different types of fables told about Chuck Norris. Like Chuck Norris went into the lion's den and he came out unscathed by all the lions. Like stuff like that has been like the whole trope around Chuck Norris. Like Chuck Norris feet are so strong it broke the Hoover Dam. Like with one kick. Like people have said the most outlandish stuff ever about Chuck Norris. And one of those was, he got bitten by the king cobra and the king cobra died. I think one other one out there was he was able to like something ridiculous like scuba dive and pull back the Titanic. Like if Chuck Norris was on the Titanic, the iceberg would have lost. Type stuff. Like people was saying all kinds of stuff. Even up to his very last day, they were saying stuff like the whole reason why Chuck Norris is not with us is because he finally gave up the fight against death after death died. And it's like, wait, what? Who are y'all? Who's coming up with this mess? Like, it's so ridiculous. But when you look at his career, Chuck Norris was a phenomenal martial artist. He was a phenomenal actor. Yeah, there were some moments of turbulence far as his political stance on things, and he was for things and then changed it, and all kinds of rumor stuff that was he was a this and that. And even throughout all of that, he still represented himself on the big screen in just a world-class act. One of my other fondest memories of seeing Chuck Norris was him showing up to the WWE. And it was like, huh? What is he doing here? It's like Walker Texas Ranger with wrestlers. Okay, I'll go with this. Let's see how far y'all gonna go with this. And it was pretty funny. Some really funny stuff and really entertaining things. Like, at the end of the day, the man was a solid entertainer and will be missed. Shout outs to Chuck Norris, the legend. Oh, yeah. Now, here come the foolishness. We all know there is foolishness and folly going on amongst these folks that are in power right now. And when I say, y'all, it is a whole mess. And I know y'all frustrated, just as I am frustrated with it. Old fearless leader, JD Vance, is out here trying to tell us those gas prices that you see, they ain't that bad. Really? Explain what you mean by that.
A lot of our allies all over the world who are suffering from this, frankly, more than we are, because unlike the United States, where we've pursued an energy dominance agenda, you've got a lot of people all over the world who have focused on a lot of green energy scams, and they're hurting a lot more than we are. So as much as we got to focus on getting these gas prices down, the reality is overseas they're feeling it far worse than we did, because we've taken the steps to protect our energy economy. So for example, what we did working with these allies, we released hundreds of millions of barrels out of all these petroleum reserves so that we could put some downward pressure on prices.
You did? Really? Are you sure about that, Vice President? I don't believe you. Tell me more.
We're working on a number of things. In fact, a couple of things that I think will be announced in just the next 24 to 48 hours. I don't want to get ahead of the president on that, but we recognize this is an issue. We are fighting against it, and we promise that when this conflict draws to a close, when this operation draws to a close, we're going to see those energy prices come back down to reality, because that's what the president promised to do. He delivered. That we actually worked with a lot of our allies.
He said he promised to do it. That's what he said. That's what he campaigned on, keeping the cost of gas down low. Because Sleepy Joe Biden ran up the price. That's what you said during the campaign. But the problem that we see right now is, sir, your gas prices are higher than Joe Biden gas prices were ever the whole time Joe Biden was in office. Make that make sense. And you're saying, oh, well, it ain't that bad. You guys, it's worse overseas. And we're doing all these things to make it work for you. Meanwhile, the price keep going up. Make that make sense. It doesn't make sense, sir. Quit lying to the people. It's okay. Y'all don't have a handle on this thing as y'all are portraying. And that's okay, because we know y'all weren't equipped for this. Y'all weren't qualified for this. But, we gave you a shot anyway. Right, America? Right? Just a food for thought. And it's just like, hey, man, where do we go from here? Is the question that must be answered now. Where are we? Currently, we're still in war over in the Middle East. And apparently
on 140 million barrels.
Some of these senators are trying to soften the blow of the reality. And instead of telling us the truth, they're lying to us over and over again. For instance, right here.
Barrels of Iranian oil. The U.S. lifted sanctions on Iran. So just to be clear, the administration is now allowing Iran, the country that it is at war with, to sell its oil, make money, and almost certainly use that money in its war against the U.S. Why?
Dan, I think you have to tell the rest of that story. That's a little bit misleading.
Please.
Really?
The measure is targeted towards oil that's already out there on ships, already out there in storage. And to the previous question, is very temporary to basically defeat the Iranian strategy of driving energy prices so high, causing pain on consumers all the way, all over the world.
And money won't go into their coffers?
So that much of that oil and that illicit oil is already out there. It's already out there in the system. So we're going to allow it to go in a temporary basis to some of our allies like India, Japan, and others, so that this strategy from Iran, the Iranian regime, doesn't work. And by the way, this is a president who put maximum pressure on the Iranian regime in his first term. It was lifted by Biden in this, Iran deal 2.0 attempt that Biden put in place. President Trump, as his second national security measure, put that maximum pressure back on. Their currency is tanking. Their foreign currency reserves are tanking. The thing the regime cares about the most is control and its money. And so no one can accuse President Trump of not putting maximum pressure on not only this regime, but on the Russian economy as well.
Let me tell y'all something about what he did just there. He talked so slick about politicking, that he was very careful to dance around the question that she asked by vaguely answering it without answering it at the same time. The issue that we have there is simple. You're lying. You're lying to us. To say this was all Biden's fault, but you put these sanctions on them supposedly to negotiate better terms for oil trade. And because they didn't budge and jumped at your offer, you decided to go to conflict. And therefore now we're sitting in this days long, which it's going to go on for months. And now the pivot is blame them for the cost of everything rising. Forget the fact that we started the conflict in the first place when there was a complete presence of Iran coming to the table to talk to you. But because they weren't doing what you wanted them to do, you imposed destabilization of a whole sovereign nation. And then painted them as the enemy of the entire world as they defended themselves against you. And now you continue to attack them and say that they are the problem. It is quite fascinating. Like, how can you do this? Like, and be okay with it? And the reason why, they're making money off of it. Hand over fist. Because ultimately, it's about trading in the US dollar. As Joy Reid pointed out on on a video that I shared last week. Or maybe the week before. It's in there. It's in one of the videos recently. Go back and watch that. But now you have Chump over here talking about how it's going to open and work out itself. Like, what? Excuse me? What do you mean by all of this?
You said opening the Strait of Verzuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, we don't use it.
You know what's so funny about that? He said he tried to throw NATO under the bus. And NATO's stance was, we don't want war. We don't want this. You pushed it onto us, and now you're trying to force our hand into acting with you. But at the same time, you putting all these tariffs on our countries and wreaking havoc with us. Why would we work with you if you're causing us pain? And then you cause others pain, and then you're saying, hey, help me cause even more pain so we can get what we want. Really?
At a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated.
The whole reason why it will open itself is because Iran decides to open it. But you guys keep poking this bear, trying to see how far you can go with it. And the bear comes swiping back, and you're like, oh, the bear's not supposed to do that. Excuse me? No, that's not how real life works.
The enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone.
You see how they are trying to spin this narrative that the Iranian country is evil, out of control, no direction. All of this happened as a result of them attacking Iran. And you started this narrative to insinuate there was a reason to attack them in the first place. All these people want to do is live great, peaceful, have their bellies full from all the plenty of food that they can eat, and just, I don't know, man, just live is the ultimate goal here. And you guys are disrupting their way of life because you don't like your own life.
The anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have, is all gone. Everything's gone.
It's mighty funny that they say everything is gone, but Iran is still bombing places. And quite accurately doing it too.
The strait itself, the actual strait, how are you? The strait itself is, we're doing a good job, but it would be nice if the countries, including China, if the countries that use it, China uses it 90% of their energy. Japan is 95% of the energy. It would be nice if those countries would get involved.
So, in other words, take over this war so we don't have to waste our resources. Y'all are closer to the region, so y'all need to do this. And in addition to that, well, we went into this too fast. And so we kind of need to regroup. So we want y'all to go out there and fight this battle while we re-strategize and figure out how to eliminate the threat. And then we'll come in and say, America's great. We won the war. Okay. I'll tell you right now, like it's only going to get worse from here because you have people like this that are playing in our faces.
Reports that the Pentagon is sending 3 warships and thousands of additional Marines to the Middle East. Now, the president says he doesn't want boots on the ground in Iran. So what are these Marines doing there?
Well, they provide a lot of leverage, Stuart, and I just love the president when he keeps the reporters on their toes. We shouldn't be telling people what we are going to do and when we are going to do it. But believe me, President Donald J. Trump has the best interests of the United States at heart, but he also loves our men and women in uniform. He will not engage them unnecessarily.
He loves them. But recent reports say that he is banning the media from covering when our fallen soldiers are returning home. Our wounded soldiers are coming home. They're banning the media from seeing that and putting the censorship that is coming from this administration is out of this world.
I know that to be true. So this is why it's so important that we do have partner nations stepping up, whether it's to assist in the Strait of Hormuz or whether it's to help stabilize in the Middle East. But President Trump is very good about this. He's going to use what leverage he has, and we all will be so much better for it, Stuart.
I'm going to change the subject, Senator.
To say that they're going to use whatever leverage, America has no leverage. If it can enter into conflict, it had no leverage. And Donald Trump once said if the president of the United States can't properly negotiate and runs into getting into a war, they should never be president. It's mighty funny that when those words come back to haunt him, oh, no, that doesn't apply to me. That applies to everybody else. Right. Certainly, I guess. But hey, the more he lies, the bigger his nose gets. Right? And I mean, we know they're getting desperate. John Oliver pointed this out recently.
To paint this situation as much more stable than it actually is. And on Friday, he essentially just declared victory.
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
Oh, well, that's great news. But here is the problem with that. He already declared that we'd won the war 11 days ago.
11 days prior to this. Like, it is hilariously a crazy picture that they're trying to paint as if everything is going fine when it is not.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but it has seemed to continue since then. And I've got to say, for all this administration's disdain for cable news spin and its insistence people report the reality, they are stretching the truth to breaking point here, because even as Trump's claiming that we've won, the Pentagon's requesting $200 billion in extra funding for this operation, sure suggesting it's going to be going on for a while. He's also claimed we've destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability, which is a little hard to believe, given they're still somehow managing to strike multiple other countries in the region. And he claimed twice this week that a former president endorsed his decision to go to war, something they've all since denied. The lies are getting pretty flagrant here, even by this president's standards, and inevitably people are noticing. In fact, you could argue that the only irrefutably laser-focused, decisive, epic fury that has been on display this week has been this outburst targeted at him.
You're a worthless pile of...
Again, not no. Trump seems desperate.
I'm telling you guys, like, it's absolutely a, excuse my French, shit show. And I mean, he continues day after day.
You said opening the Strait of Verzuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, you know, we don't use it. You know, at a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. The anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have is all gone. Everything's gone.
To hear him say everything is gone, you guys got to understand, it's a bigger problem than they are actually reporting. They're scared. They're going to portray like they're not scared, but they are scared. And for him to say all of this, the bad part is when there are people who are still here to refute that. Boots on the ground, living, breathing people. Now you're left with, who do you believe? Do you believe your president, or do you believe the other country that states their state of their union, the condition of their country that contradicts everything? You don't believe me? Hear it out right here.
Interesting thing going on right now. The Iranian regime is calling Donald Trump out as a liar. You see, earlier today, coincidentally, right before the markets opened, Donald Trump made this post saying that he's pleased to report that the United States of America and Iran have had very good and productive conversations over the past couple days. And
how do you have a conversation with someone that isn't having a conversation with you? Oh, you lie about it. That's like me saying I went out and had a cup of coffee with you over the weekend. And when Sally, Jesse, Raphael, Carlos ask you, so you went out there and had coffee with TD, right? And you're like, what are you talking about? We didn't have coffee. I didn't even speak to him. What do you mean? But TD said, you guys had a great time at Dunkin' Donuts. And you guys laughed over the frosted donuts, and you did have donuts, right? No, there was no donuts. Oh no, there was no donuts. There was no croissant. There was no nothing. There was no coffee. Wait a minute. What are you telling me that there was no coffee? He said it. You guys went on and had coffee. You're trying to lie to me. You're trying to hide the fact that you had a good time. This is the narrative that you want to go with and tell people that the Iranians lie about this? Why would they lie about talking to you? You just destroyed and unalived a bunch of their people. What makes you think that they will be so buddy chummy chum to talk to you? And then you lie on them and continue to lie on them and call them the bane of existence and evil doers that need to be destroyed. And then you're talking about, oh yeah, everything was rosy, peachy, cheeky. We are kumbayaing it up on the weekend. Really?
And Trump said that he was calling off his threat that he would strike Iranian nuclear sites for the next 5 days. Again, coincidentally, at the close of markets on Friday. Well, soon after that, Iranian media made this report saying that the Iranian regime made no contact with President Donald Trump, not even through an intermediary, and claimed that Trump backed down after warnings that Iran would target power plants. And so what happened next? Well, Axios then reported that an Israeli official told them that U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were negotiating with the Speaker of the Iranian parliament. But there was just one problem with that claim. The Speaker of the Iranian parliament instantly came out and said that was not true. Here he wrote on social media, Iranian people demand complete and remorseful punishment of the aggressors. All Iranian officials stand firmly behind their supreme leader and people until this goal is achieved. No negotiations have been held with the U.S., and fake news is used to manipulate the financial and oil markets and escape the quagmire in which the U.S. and Israel are trapped.
Well. There you have it. The truth is out there. But unfortunately, these clowns are utilizing a playbook. The unfortunate playbook is, if you tell a lie long enough, people will believe it as facts. This is the very thing that got them to win the election. They started it off, they're trying to steal the election. And then it went to, the economy is horrible. Your prices of gas and food are so high that Sleepy Joe Biden, he's not in charge. He's not doing a thing to help the American people. I am the one that can do it all. Vote for me, and everything will go all the way. Everything, you'll have all the money in the world that you can have, right? That's right. That's what he said. Don't believe me? Go do your research. This is what he said, people. And like, I don't blame him for basically pointing out the flaws and just hammering them every time you got on the mic, every time you got in front of a camera. Like at a spades table, just dropping spades after spade after spade, cutting, reneging and everything. Hey, man. How you cutting hearts this early? Hold on, man. What? I didn't know I had hearts in my hand. I just do cards out. Is what he's saying, like, and it's like it's so crazy and cringe for me because people ate it up as factual without checking it. Nobody fact checked it all. And then by the time Kamala took over, poor Kamala had an uphill battle to fight up against. And so now they're spinning all these different narratives all at once to the point that we're so distracted from everything that's going on and worried about our reality crumbling that we're now here where some of us have shut off and some of us is like, this has my attention. Forget everything else.
And then following that, this Bloomberg report dropped, which said that Trump made this decision to postpone his ultimatum in part to calm the markets. So unfortunately, we are now in a place in the United States to try to figure out who's telling the truth. Is it Donald Trump, the president of the United States, or is it the Iranian regime? And the evidence right now seems to suggest that it's the Iranian regime. We're going to keep following it all, so make sure you're following our account, spread the word. Oh, and check out Scott McFarlane's new YouTube channel. He just joined the Midas Touch Network.
You guys gotta check out the Midas Touch. These guys actually recently won an award for best podcast news, and it is an awesome platform. Like, they are on the money all the time with their you just got to check them out. I'm coming to close on this segment here. But in this next clip, you're going to have to wake up a little bit. Because this is extra woke. Extra, read all about it. Because this here puts a little bug in your ear. Have you ever sat back and wondered what America means by protecting our interests around the world? If you haven't, okay, cool. Buckle up, sit on down right there. Grab some popcorn. It's time to be educated. If you have, I'm not sure if you've fully looked into this angle from this next clip. Watch this.
say this person, that person is a dictator, that person is a dictator. The first question you need to ask is, what is it that that country has that America needs? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. America is the biggest oil junkie in the world. America owes so many countries money. It's insane. It's really insane. So whenever she's talking about other countries and saying these are terrorists, see, you go to another nation that didn't invite you. Right. You try to have negotiations and tell them, listen, give us your oil, diamonds, etc. We'll have some negotiations. And they say, well, no, we don't want you to have that. You go to another one. And America says, oh, okay, cool. So America leaves. And what do? They send in agents through the CIA. They assassinate the leadership after they use the media in that country to turn the people against the leader of that country. Then it's called a coup. They assassinate the leader and they prop up someone who was a CIA agent who they had trained to be the new person to run for the leadership of that country, put him in place, and then they have free access to the wealth that they already were trying to get in the first place. This is called a coup. America's been doing it for a very long time. They have murdered and assassinated leaders all across the planet. America is a gangster, brother. I mean, a real one. They feel like money is their God. They'll say God with their mouth, but they'll show God with their money. God meaning G-O-D, gold, oil, and drugs. Okay, that's their God. Gold, oil, and drugs.
In God we trust. The play on words there. Trust is a collection in terms of monetary. It's a institution, a house of sort. It's a little deep right now. If we take this gentleman's stance and think about it, the dollar is backed by gold standard. We trade oil in dollars and propped our economy up on both of those. And then their playground in which they have fun. Drugs. Drugs leads to sex, leads to manipulation, espionage, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a rabbit hole of things. If we were to take this perspective and understand it fully, when they say, like he said, our God, to think about it, America went to war over gold. They went to war over oil. And then they went to war over drugs. The fight for those things and control over those things is far greater than the life of any person anywhere. For them to say all lives matter, it's a lie. For them to say they're pro-life, but they're quick to go into battle, it's a lie. Hell, the current sitting president has said that he would bomb a sovereign nation's way of life completely to get what he wants. Control. Autonomous control over the flow of money. Right now, they don't have that. Not from the Middle East. And to understand that world domination, like you said, America, she has put her tentacles into every country around the world in the name of spreading democracy. To snuff out what it believes to be evil regimes and evil doers, anything that is opposed and opposite of its agenda.
That's their God. So when America tries
That's their God. Gold, oil, and drugs. G-O-D. I never heard it put that way until now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow. Can it be really that cynical and sinister? Could it be? Watch this.
That Iran was bombed brutally the day that the supreme leader was assassinated, the day that 40 leaders were killed, the day that the granddaughter of the supreme leader was killed. What happened? Well, the first speaker from Bahrain, the ambassador, said, "We are here to condemn the unprovoked attack on us by Iran." Unprovoked after an Israeli-U.S. aggression. I thought I must not be hearing right. Then came the French ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran's attack on its neighboring states." Then came the Danish ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Then came the British ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Then came the Greek ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Even George Orwell could not have made this up. This is the day that Iran was attacked. Only 3 countries condemned Israel and the United States for attacking: Russia, China, and I believe it was Somalia sitting in the seat for the African countries. Only 3. I had to think, what is going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. It's very interesting. Everyone that said that has an American military base on their soil. They are not sovereign countries. They dare not speak. They host the U.S. military. They host the CIA. They watch their backs.
Wow. When we put that into perspective, we begin to understand that the real regime is us. You don't have to take my word for it. Uncle Peter. Pete has said we negotiate with bombs.
As possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have a choice as we loiter over the top of Tehran, as the president talked about your future. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary to ensure the interests of the United States of America are achieved on that battlefield as viciously as possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have a choice as we loiter over the top of Tehran, as the president talked about your future. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary.
I wanted y'all to hear that twice. Don't think for a moment they don't know what they're doing. That's what they want us to think. The agenda and purpose of this whole entire thing, unfortunately, is not about us, the regular people. It is simply serving those that are in the circles and in the rooms and spaces that we are not. But yet, they try to include us. Here's how they include us.
God, continue to bless our troops in this fight. And again, to the American people, please pray for them every day, on bended knee, with your family, in your schools, in your churches, in the name of Jesus Christ. To the troops, keep going, and Godspeed. May Almighty God continue to bless our troops in this fight. And again, to the American people, please pray for them every day, on bended knee, with your family, in your schools, in your churches, in the name of Jesus Christ.
So much can be said right there. Knowing that this nation of settlers had evolved into quote unquote Christian nation. We play to the heartstrings of those people, knowing that they're the biggest donors. And to have them shell out as much money as possible in this war is the goal. It is the silent call to action that was just issued there. Please support what we're doing financially, and the unwritten promissory note is we'll send your loved ones out there to battle. And while they're in battle, we'll try to watch their backs. Keep up the good fight.
To the troops, keep going, and Godspeed.
I don't know if anyone caught that smirk. To the troops, keep going. It's exactly what I said. Keep up the good fight. We're rooting for you from way back here. Way, way back there. Like up the stairs back there. On the other side of the house. Back there. And they wrap it in this word text of religion to make them appear to be Christian-like. And they are far from it. So here, where we're going with this, TD, is the question. I recently came across this post. A gentleman is foreshadowing what we are potentially will see. And I want to share it and kind of get a real-time reaction to it with you guys. Join me. He goes by on Instagram, Tall Guy Tycoon. And his take on things here is quite astonishing. A global lockdown coming in April 2026 is his forecast. The news article, is the world heading for a energy lockdown in 2026? Oil prices, blackouts, and what's really coming? I'll allow him to cook.
Down is coming and it's getting serious. This time it's all about energy. Countries are rationing gas. Some are putting limits on how much fuel you can buy. Others are even grounding flights. Slovenia has already become the first country in Europe to implement fuel rationing. South Korea is doing the same thing. They're putting QR codes at the gas pump that limits how much gas each citizen can buy. The Philippines is trying to ground all flights because they don't have any fuel. American Airlines has cut flights by 5%. Governments around the world are trying to push work-at-home mandates to save fuel. Even the International Energy Agency is trying to restrict non-essential travel. Now, does this sound familiar? In 2020, we were told that lockdowns will only last a few weeks. It lasted years. Now, instead of a health crisis, we could be entering a period of peak energy, and that could be just as dangerous as a virus. The new world will be dominated by the power triad: compute, data, and energy. Energy is the foundation of everything. If oil prices don't start coming down, if geopolitical tensions continue, it will keep impacting supply chains, financial markets, global stability. This is bigger than the COVID lockdown. This is a system shift. Follow me if you want to understand where all of this is going. A new global lockdown is coming and it's getting...
A new global lockdown is coming. When we say there is a manufactured crisis ahead, I understand that these things are somewhat planned out years in advance. And some of this stuff was introduced to the public in Project 2025. And a lot of people ignored it as propaganda. But as we've noticed since the start of 2025, much of that began to unfold not as propaganda, but as reality. And they want it to become normalized. Don't you see? They want you to not care about it because it's not affecting you. Don't worry about it. It's only temporary. To understand that type of language puts you in a careless state of being. And once they have you there, people, I'm gonna have a heart to heart with you. Once they have you there, they know that they could sell you anything. They can give you acid in this styrofoam cup and tell you it's a Sprite. It's not until you see somebody say, "Oh, I'm feeling a little fuzzy. Oh, I'm not feeling so hot. I don't know what it was that put me in this state," as they expire in front of your very eyes. By then, it's too late. Because what they're hoping is that you ingested enough that you'll just go for it. What else do I have to lose? Right? What else do I have to lose? America has lost its soul. Unfortunately, America has also, in the act of losing its soul, it has lost its mind. And as the mind goes, so does the body. And that is the state that we're seeing, the collapse of the body, as the collapse of all systems that made America great, the beacon of the entire world, the place that everyone could make it. The body is suffering. It's not from tequila shots. No. It's not from fentanyl. It's not. It is a masterpiece of a cocktail mix. There is no one device that put America in this state of being. There is a multitude of it. And the crazy part of it is this. If we run and give our attention to one aspect to fix it, we neglect all the other areas. And there's literally nothing that we can do to fix that. Literally. One of those areas right now that is suffering right now is travel. Travel is affected. And it's affected because Congress decided, TSA doesn't need to be funded. Unknown to a lot of people, these people right here that voted for this to block funding from TSA are running the very playbook from Project 2025. because Donald Trump said so. And why? Why would he do that? Because they want to control the flow of funds, money. Less government, more privatized. If they could privatize TSA, then they could control who gets to go where and do what. And with whom. There will be no freedom without currency, exchange. Do y'all not understand what that means? Instead of corporations, we will have a different set of hands on things. Let me explain a little more what that means. Instead of the airlines being in control, you'll have a centralized entity above them that will dictate to them or otherwise lose everything. That's what TSA would become. Instead of working hand in hand with airlines, partnership, it would become a dictatorship. Where now you have them introducing ICE agents because one aspect they're saying it costs too much to fund TSA. And at one time they were trying to get the airlines to fund TSA, and that did not work. It absolutely did not work for them. Hey, Lady Virgo. How you doing tonight? She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, my dear. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're still here, rocking it out. It's a lot to talk about. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for being here tonight. And it's heartbreaking that they want to collapse the travel industry so that they can police it and dictate to us for profit. That's what it all boils down to, is it's all for profit. Because if they can control all of it, who gets a passport, who gets a ticket, who gets bags, who can go where, how long they can go for, they can make money off of every layer that I just mentioned. To privatize it. And then the laughable part of it is to know that they will put this entity on the stock market to trade stocks off of it. Mark my word, you will see it come to pass. Because that's where we're headed. Everything being traded in stocks. And it's at our expenses. People that everyday workers. For instance, this TSA agent who still goes to work daily because she loves her job. Shout out to Attorney Crump for reposting this news segment from NBC. Don't believe me. Watch it for yourself.
From Heaven Jones. She is one of the several hundred TSA officers based at Reagan National Airport. These are people who are our neighbors and who wake up every single day to make sure when we fly, nothing bad happens. But for over a month now, they have not actively been getting paid because of this partial government shutdown.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. It's been hectic. Honestly, for myself personally, it's been a lot of just penny pinching.
Heaven Jones has been a TSA officer for almost 4 years, and it's clear.
How are you today? I'm doing well.
She loves her job, even when her paychecks are zero and this starts happening.
Landlords knocking on the door. They're asking for the rent. My landlord has definitely emailed me and told me that they understand what's going on, but at the same time, that money has to be sent in.
When was the last time you got a paycheck with money on it?
I believe February 13th was our last official check. So we're looking about almost 2 pay periods, no pay.
February 13th.
Yeah.
That was the last time you got a paycheck with actual money on it and not just $0.
Absolutely.
That's over a month.
13th. Yeah, it's hard. But the best I can do and say is that we're making it work.
I can't help but notice that we are at Reagan National Airport,
Okay.
which is a very unique airport in that it is the airport that most members of Congress use.
This is true.
Can you tell me what it's like seeing members of Congress pass through your security lanes? They are paid. It's up to them on both sides of the aisle to get you paid. Can you tell me what it's like to see them pass by?
It's one of those things where you realize like you're coming through and I want to ask you questions and I want to have that conversation with you, but it's not the time for it. But it's like, do you see me? Do you see that I'm showing up every day? Do you see that I'm doing the work, that I'm putting in the effort, and there's still no change for me?
Given the stress that you and your colleagues are going through right now, I'm sure you can understand that maybe some members of the American flying public or anybody who uses airports in America are wary of things maybe slipping under the radar. What do you say to them?
As far as things getting through and not being taken care of?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. One thing that nobody here, especially, I can't say nothing, but for my team, don't play about making sure that everything is caught if it needs to be. From the moment you enter the airport to the time you leave to get on your flight and go, your safety is the number one priority. It doesn't matter what we have going on in our personal lives in that aspect, because we know that at the end of the day, that the safety of everybody is on us. You're all good, sir. You have a good day, okay?
From the mouth of a worker that is standing 10 toes down, you gotta say bravo. To understand that these people live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a 401k, living trust, and our IRAs and all these other investment things set aside to maintain. The system is breaking around us. The quality of life that we had pre-pandemic is not coming back. And this is evident right here, right now. And if this ideology of us versus them continues. The have versus the have-nots continues. America is finished. How could you say that, TD? How? America has been around forever. All I know, the system is breaking down, people. It's breaking down. And we did it to ourselves, unfortunately. And maybe, perhaps, maybe it needed to break down because a new government must be formed. This is something that I had a vision of eons ago, many years ago. Like there was the whole COVID thing that was a worldwide catastrophe that I had a vision of happening way back in like 2012 when I had this. Like 2010, 2012, I had this vision of this. And there was a civil war, and from out of the civil war, there was a whole new style of government formed. This government had delegates from it felt like it was more race race wise. Like there was a black caucus, white caucus, Asian caucus, and they had a representative from each. It kind of reminded me of Divergent and Hunger Games mixed together, and it was just a weird world to be a part of because nothing was the same anymore. And this is me being very candid and open. I saw a world where if you didn't have it financially, you suffered greatly. And those that could manifest financially survived the best way that they could. There was no financial aid, backing, support, like credit. No, there was no credit. That system died. It was destroyed. And what's so funny about it, I also saw along the way more natural disaster like COVID, but this was on a worldwide thing. And maybe perhaps it is the conflict that we're seeing right now escalating to where country is against country. Maybe that's what it was, but at some point, it got real weird, like the movie 2012-ish, where like the continents, the ocean, all that stuff started swirling around and remapping. Perhaps the real meaning behind it was that the entire way that we govern life and is shifting below our feet to where nothing will be in its original place that we once saw it. And like, what do you do with that? Well, the way everyone is putting it is it's the new norm. Like, do you know to this day there are people that still go back to wearing a mask when there are allegations of viruses amongst us? They default to putting on a mask after complaining about having to wear masks. Speaking of, somebody behind the mess of the mask, Elon, says, "Hey, y'all, I got the money. I can help pay for their salaries. Excuse me? I would like to offer to pay the salaries of TSA personally during this funding impasse that is negatively affecting the lives of so many Americans at airports throughout the country." I think you would be able to, sir, after you pillaged and stole, took contracts from other people and put yourself in a higher place before you're spat with fearless leader, President Kinkles. Shout out to Miss Kim's reference to Donald J. Trump. It's like, hey, this feels like a setup. Like an IOU to America. And he's like, well, when the bill comes due, I'll collect it when I feel like it. And it's like, y'all don't know how bad it is out here. If you don't know how bad it is, it's bad. At these airports, it's just bad. Very bad. Don't believe me? Look at it for yourself right there. This is Atlanta's airport. Atlanta check-in has never been this bad. It's been bad during the holidays, but these lines are actually going outside the door. And this right here is baggage claim. In the middle is where TSA is. Like, wait a minute. What? A few months ago, there was uproar about TSA pre-check. And them wanting to try and take that away. And to think that, like, if you don't have pre-check, you have to endure this. And this is at 1 p.m. in the afternoon 3 days ago. Shout out to Atlanta Scoop for this. That was 3 days ago. And since then, they have deployed ICE out there, and unfortunately, it was kind of the plan to do this all along. Again, I say, you don't have to take my word for it. Hey, you got Senator Kennedy dropping the jewels
Mr. Cruz and I came up with a plan. We said, look, it's a two-step process. The Democrats have offered to open up everything but ICE. Ted and I said, okay, let's accept their offer. And then at the same time, we would offer a bill for reconciliation where we don't need any Democratic votes to do whatever we wanted to do with ICE. And that way we're out of the shutdown and DHS is back open. We submitted that, Senator Thune submitted that to President Trump, as is his right. He said no deals with the Democrats. It would have worked. We could have had TSA paid by the end of the week, but the president said no deal.
The president is out here telling them no deal. And they're like, well, if they don't want to keep working for free, we'll send in ICE agents to take over. And that's what they did. They started sending them in there. But here's the thing, like these guys, TSA agents go through a rigorous amount of training. That is not something that you equip to a regular security person that just stands at the door and says, stop, go, stop. What is that? Let me see that. Here you go. Go. No. TSA is far more sophisticated than that. And ultimately, my theory is they're trying to collapse all of this under one house. So there is one check that pays that bill. But you know what's amazing since ICE got out there? What is ICE really doing? I saw some clips out there that I refused to share of ICE getting in entanglements with who they are alleging are illegals after they've passed through TSA checkpoint. Not before. After. So they checked in, got through security. They're on their way to boarding their flight. You're grabbing them and detaining them and apprehending them. What is that about? What kind of world, what kind of country is America turning into? And if there was a need to beef up on security, you would think they would have trained people. There is no training to become an ICE agent. It has been proven. There's videos out there that says, to give you the evidence, they sit you in a room with a webinar, tell you about the job, hand you your papers and your vest, and send you out to the field. And this is what they're doing with them because there's so many of them right now. They don't know what to do with them.
To long TSA lines because TSA workers aren't being paid. And this is what they're doing. Absolutely fucking nothing. While this TSA agent, God bless her, handles the entire line, they stand here doing nothing. Got a few more. Good job, guys. Good work. Literally, this woman is handling the entire TSA line. while 4 different ICE agents stand and watch her. We got some backup to do nothing. Break time, our day at work. I actually can relate to you guys in the sense that when I worked retail, I also walked around a lot while doing nothing to convince people that I was working. Well, at least I can sleep easy, knowing that this airport finally has armed bathroom attendants. Snack time. Tough day on the job. So lines are the exact same length they were before, and we've replaced the people who actually knew what they were doing with untrained armed Gestapo. We did it. We made airports great again. So I'm at JF.
We've made our ports great again is the message. And it is what it is. Like, if you don't understand how bad things are, whatever, you're just blind. And to think, like, Speaker Johnson, his take on things is, whatever the president says.
It seems as though Republicans and Democrats are talking past one another right now. Mm-hmm. Is the only person who could solve this the president of the United States, and why isn't he involved?
Well, I think he is involved. I mean, I know he had a group of.
Down the plan yesterday.
Well, that's what's been reported. Okay, he brought some.
He said that in the Oval Office that he was not pleased with that plan.
Well, I actually have his exact quote somewhere. I think he said that, to paraphrase him, I think he said he's a little skeptical or cynical that a deal is going to come together. What we're hearing, okay, in our chamber is that there's discussions going on that Democrats are demanding to break off parts of Homeland and fund it separately. I'm
Mr. Speaker.
Johnson and Trump are not on the same page at all. Just know that. And this thing is turning into the craziest sitcom show I've ever seen. Or I don't know, maybe an HBO show. Like it has the elements of the show House of Cards. And you know, I watched like the first and the second season of House of Cards, and then it just got weird after that. And it's just like, I don't know if y'all feel this, but I feel it. This Trump show has gotten weird. And I'm ready to turn the TV off on it. But I am happy that Delta is out here standing up for TSA workers and saying, hey, all them perks you guys have over there as congressional workers and elected officials, yeah, we're going to pause that until y'all do right by them. Till you do right by me. In TSA. No more perks for you. I hope more airlines do this because you don't need to be able to have a life of comfort as when others are in discomfort. It's absolutely horrible and deplorable. Do right. Fix it. And look, don't think this is just something specific to TSA. Unfortunately, there's another area that's coming down the pipeline that I'm going to bring to your attention right now. People, understand that the system is breaking. Why is the system breaking? It's deliberate. It is done on purpose. Y'all, U.S. Postal Service is under threat. Let me tell you what I see happening here. If the U.S. Postal Service ends up like TSA, you guys got to understand the timing in which that the bottom will fall out on this will line up with our election. So one way or another, I see, this is what I see and I'm seeing will happen. Those mail-in ballots will never make it to its destination because U.S. Postal Service will collapse and there won't be any transference of those votes. Because what will happen is they will be shut down. And unfortunately, they won't open back up for a long time. Well after the damage is done. This is a subplot that is being implemented right now. Shut down the U.S. Postal Service before the election or around the election so those mail-in ballots don't make it. And it's mighty funny because the president recently just took advantage of that to mail in his ballot to Florida instead of going to vote in person. After talking about how unreliable it is and how the Democrats have manipulated it and it needs to be abolished. Well, they know they can't abolish it. So let's put a plug in the pipeline. How is this stuff moving? We'll shut down the U.S. Postal Service because we don't want those votes counted. Because we know Democrats are more likely to mail in their votes than Republicans. And if those votes don't get counted, they don't matter. And if they don't matter, they don't exist. To shut down the U.S. Postal Service, they don't care about what else gets disrupted. As long as this disruption transpires. TSA getting replaced with ICE is border control. It's border control people. How are these people getting into the country? Oh, let's shut that down. Replace all of TSA with ICE. We have the data to know who is coming in illegally and moving around the country illegal. Hey, we'll catch them right there. We'll show them. It's all a part of the plan to control the flow of money. Think about all those elderly people that pay their bills by mail in only. Think about the people who rely on receiving their Social Security check in the mail instead of direct deposit. Think about all the people that rely on getting their medical supplies through the mail. All for the mighty, mighty dollar. I want you to hear it talked about in the way that they're talking about it. Listen.
Money. He says it may have to stop delivering mail next year. NPR's Hansi-Lo Wang reports the Postmaster General is asking Congress to help stabilize the self-funded agency.
The Postal Service relies on stamps and service fees, not tax dollars, to deliver mail and packages 6 days a week to every address in the country. But people and businesses are sending a lot less mail than in past decades. Now, Postmaster General David Steiner says USPS could be out of cash for paying its workers as soon as this October, but says that could be delayed until February 2027 if it holds off on paying more of its...
October 2026 could be delayed until February 2027. That is enough time to delay everything regarding the voting of the midterm election. Put your thinking caps on. Maybe have to wake up just a little bit to understand this, where they're going with this. U.S. Postal Service has been around for more than 100 years. And all of a sudden now they're out of money. What happened that they're not telling us?
Obligations.
If you want the same number of delivery days and post offices, we can do that. But someone has to pay for it. If you want to have a discussion about reducing services, we can do that too. But there's one thing we can't do, and that is the status quo.
Steiner says Congress should change laws to let the Postal Service borrow more money and reform how it pays for retirement benefits. Hansi-Lo Wang, NPR News.
There you have it. So, the quiet part that was said out loud right there. The Postal Service has to pay out for retirees. And that is breaking. It's breaking them. Because you got to think, some of these people have been working for the Postal Service for more than 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, retiring. All at once. It's breaking. The system is breaking. I don't know how many times I can say that out loud. Maybe it is the alarm that I am sounding that has never been sounded before. You're hearing it first here on Unveiled Vibrations. That the American system is breaking. It's collapsing.
Corva Coleman, NPR News. For more of today's news, be sure to like and follow us or check out NPR News Now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Shout out to NPR for this story, because without independent news like them, public news, it's a problem, and it will remain to be a problem. And my heart goes out to the Postal Service, because if you guys end up like TSA going a month, 2 months, 6 months without income, and yet still having to go and serve daily, the impact, U.S. Postal Service is nationwide, and it is a big entity. And I'm pretty sure they will strike. And when they strike and there is no mail moving across this country, America will lose one of its biggest flows of currency, mail. Therefore, they will force us into digital currency. It's something that has already been in the works, something that they've been trying to quietly push. And hey, as digital currency, like I'm talking about beyond CashApp, Venmo, Zelle. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about the U.S. Treasury's digital coin, Donald Trump's digital coin, Doge digital coin. How many of y'all remember Doge? Elon Musk did all this promoting about Doge and then turn around and told them it's a scam on Saturday Night Live and tanked the Doge coin on purpose. He got his money worth out of it and ran tail. All those that came in on the back end of it lost, or probably still hold on to it. Who knows? It's still out there. Dogecoin is still out there. It's still trading to this day. It's trading low. How low? Way lower than it eventually got up to like $1.20, between $1.10 and $1.20, 25, and he tanked it all the way down to 2 cents. Think about all those people that dropped so much money on it in hopes to get rich fast. My, oh my. No worries. Life will find a way, as they talk about on Jurassic Park. Right? Life will find a way. We think. What you think? Senator Jeffries, what do you think?
Is there any concern opposition to the SAVE Act may give the perception your party is against voter ID, which has some popularity across the country? And also, what do you make of president voting by mail, as the SAVE Act seems to try to stop voting by mail?
Yeah, we have made clear repeatedly that we support voter identification laws. And here in this country, elections are administered by states and localities, and each state and locality has the ability to determine what is the most appropriate form of voter identification that should be required for their citizens to participate in voting in that state. New York State has very strong voter identification laws, which I support, and which does facilitate voting that allows for maximum participation by citizens, while at the same period of time ensuring that the elections are free and fair. This is a states' right issue. What happened to the days when Republicans actually supported states' rights? These people are phony. And the example right now, amongst many, is the fact that for years, Donald Trump has been railing against voting by mail, only to turn around and vote by mail in the special election that's taking place today in Florida. That's king-like behavior.
A couple questions.
What happened to the Republican Party? Jeffries. I'll tell you what happened to them. They rather by any means necessary, unfortunately, have power. That's all they care about is power. Because out of that power, they feel like they can gain wealth. As long as I have power, I can have wealth. If I have wealth, I have power. And without wealth, I have no power, is the theory. And then any means necessary. It doesn't matter who I step on to get there. That's what happened. They used to stand for something. No, they stood for power and money. That's what Republicans are all about and have always been about. It's just, you let the smooth taste fool you. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And look, hey, amazing people. It is what it is. Because they got us fooled. Don't believe me? They're okay with whatever this is that's going on, to the point that they've talked about bringing back the draft for the military. And I came across this funny sketch about a day or two ago, and I was like, I got to bring this up on the show because it talks from the angle of the Republican mindset. And only they can make sense of this and be like, yeah, that's it. While the rest of us is like, yo, that sounds crazy. That really does sound crazy. Like, do you hear yourself? Maybe we need a skit for you to hear yourself.
Well, I'm Republicans in Congress. Starting in December, every American male between 18 and 25 will be automatically registered for the draft. Hello, I'm a draft eligible man. Do you need my birth certificate? No, we already know who you are. So you need my passport? No, how many 18-year-olds have passports? So I don't need a birth certificate or a passport for you to register me for war. But if the SAVE Act passes, I need at least one of those to register to vote? Hello, I'm Republicans in Congress. Starting in December, every American male between 18 and 25 will be automatically registered for the draft. Hello, I'm a draft eligible man. Do you need my birth certificate? No, we already know who you are. So you need my passport? No, how many 18-year-olds have passports? So I don't need a birth certificate or a passport for you to register me for war. But if the SAVE Act passes, I need at least one of those to register to vote? Hello,
Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And trying to make sense of crazy has us in a tailspin right now. And hopefully we can laugh about it one day. Maybe. I don't know. I definitely want to laugh at something. Do you guys want to laugh at something? Here we go. Lady Virgo says, so can they or will they really draft young people? Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. It's called selective service. And back in the day, upon graduating from high school, you had to sign up through selective service, which puts you in a database for the draft. And to think, like, they waived having to do that as long as people were volunteering to go into battle. As long as the military had a certain number of people, they said they would never do a draft again. But if you're sending troops to their death right now in droves, waves of thousands, eventually you're going to run out of bodies. And you're going to have to replace those bodies. And how do they do that? They don't want to send the elderly. No. We want to send our best and brightest. Which means we have to send our youth. That is the unfortunate thing. Lady Virgo says, oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I knew about many, many years ago, but I'm asking, like, in these times we're in now. Yeah. Unfortunately, the SAVES Act will remove the voting from Congress portion of instituting the draft. That power would be transferred over to somebody else. There was a couple of drafts of the SAVES Act. One, it was going to go to the Secretary of War, aka Secretary of State, as the person who can enact and institute a draft. The other, the president. And to give that power to the president because he's the commander of chief. Yeah. And then so now they're actually considering lifting the age limit on things as well, because like it was 18 to like 30 something, like 32 or 35 was the age range of the people that could be drafted. Now they're talking about pushing that even higher to into the 40s. So people around my age will be standing next to somebody that we birthed and raised to go into the draft and to go to war. It is absolutely astonishing. And to think that they won't send their own. Oh no, they won't send their family members. She said, huh? Explain that again, please. I'm so lost with politics, Tyrone. Yeah. So the Saves Act that is currently being pushed through Congress, the House and the Senate, there was one version that I've heard that the power to activate the draft was going to be given from Congress, who would say it and vote on it, to autonomously, based off of feeling, I think I should start a draft, to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of State, or the current president of these United States. And it was just like, wow. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. That is absolutely crazy. And that is the state of where things could be moving into the future. It is a part of Project 2025. Yes. So the Saves Act is totally different than Project 2025. Although what is in the Saves Act was heavily influenced from Project 2025. Project 2025, it was quote unquote blueprint. And it's just like, oh wow. Wow. I can't believe they would put that out there and think nobody would read it. And it's the age-old thing that they would say about African Americans. Put it in the book and they won't read it. That has become the new norm of across America. You put it in a book, Americans don't read. Those that do, hey, they're informed and aware. Shout outs to Amir's in the house on the late night. Creep into the chat. Welcome. Hey to you as well. Welcome. It has been a night of a lot to discuss. Like, if you have a chance to just anybody, replay crew, come back through and listen to all this juicy topics. You will be fairly entertained because it's a lot that has transpired that a lot of people are not aware of, and it comes across my radar. I'll be like, I think I'll talk about that. Yeah. Lady Virgo says, oh, okay, thanks so much for the explanation. Much appreciated. Yes. I appreciate you. And yeah, Mamir, I talked about what has been going on with the Savannah Guthrie to JD Vance to the war in Iran to TSA and their woes and introducing ICE and wrapping up things with a little more funny, lighter side of things. This skit here is very telling regarding how Republicans' mindsets are in terms of Congress Republicans. That is, it's instituting a draft across America and sending young people into it to say you don't need a birth certificate to be drafted. You don't need a passport to draft. But to vote, you need those, one or the other. Absolutely ludicrous. So I can go fight a war without a passport or a birth certificate, come back home, and then when I want to provide my civic duties locally and nationally, you're saying, nah, you got to prove to me that you're a citizen. It's absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous, man. Mamir says, if y'all talking about the draft, my friend who recently passed at 80 said he was at a post office a few months ago and there were sign up sheets that were similar to the ones before Vietnam draft. Absolutely. They have sign up sheets out there. They're soft booting the draft. And this is why they're starting to contemplate the structure of the draft already. Because they believe that they're going to pass the SAVES Act. That's the belief. Lady Virgo says, Mamir, oh my God, really a sign-up sheet? Yeah, back in the day, there used to be sign-up sheets. And it's quite interesting. People, it's quite interesting. Because even back in the day, they found loopholes around going. And of course, all the people that are in the good old boy club, I would say, found a way to avoid it, as they know people that get wrapped up in it. And they're like, well, I'm sorry, I'll see you when you get back. They're rejoicing when they come back, but for the ones that don't come back, it's just another day, unfortunately. And it's sad because that lets you know how our government could easily just discard people's lives after publicly saying, oh, we don't trade lives. My mayor says the sign-up sheets were very weird and didn't explain what they were for, but said info they were collecting would eventually be mandatory for everyone to fill out. Yeah. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. Like, I don't know exactly what year it was, but there was, I want to say, near the end of George W. Bush tenure or somewhere in the midst of Obama's years, the Selective Service was disbanded, and there was a whole uproar about the data being lost and all those many years of it being on paper, and they were transferring it to digital records, and then people's social securities and all kinds of records were like it was crazy time. It may be a bit of a Mandela effect on that. Some people may remember it, some people may not. I do, because since I was a young person many moons ago, I've always been intrigued by politics and have followed politics for many years. Recently, something that had came across my screen on my phone that made me chuckle. LeBron James was out golfing, y'all.
You know, he's sneaking up on you.
Gators.
Yo, this is
Gators almost.
Is it worth it?
He's
My
up here.
ball right here, bro. Is it worth it? Yo, he's sneaky. Bro, already took a drop. Already had one drop. Bro, if I go down here, he go underneath the water, bro. It's over. Brother, what do you think? What's the call? Do you play the ball? Look at him, bro. Or you play the gator? You play the ball or the gator? It's your dad, man. No, you ain't playing that. All right. He go. Look, watch out.
Look. I don't know if y'all see how close this gator is
Behind you. Watch out behind you.
to LeBron.
Oh,
Don't go out like this, man.
yo,
That is insane.
Is it worth it? Bro, my ball right here, bro.
And I'm like, hey, pick that ball up and let's go. No, sir. I ain't got no time to be mid-swing and that joker come up out the water mid-swing. What comes to mind is that sound bite from a Weem Away. Yeah. Every time I saw this clip,
Worth it. Yo, he's sneaky. Bro, already took a drop. Already had one drop. Bro, if I go down here, he go underneath the water, bro. It's over. Brother, what do you think? What's the call? Do you play the ball? Look at him, bro. Or you play the gator? You play the ball or the
do
gator?
you
It's your
play the
dad.
ball or do you play the gator? I ain't
Yo, look, watch
playing
out
that
behind you. Watch
gator.
out behind you. Oh.
I'm out. A gator? No. If you ever seen a real gator in real life, up close, them jokers ain't no dog. They ain't no cat. Them things is ferocious, vicious. And to that gator, you, sir, is just dark meat. Fresh dark meat. No. Get out of there right now. Ain't playing with no gator, man. I'm with you. Lady Virgo says, oh, heck freaking no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Nope. I see it. I'm like, the ball staying there. I ain't going nowhere near it. Nope. LeBron, I hope you finished that game. You and your son got home and was keying all about this. Because that right there, that would have been a tragedy to see on the news. Shout out to Bleacher Report for this. Good Lord, man. Oh my gosh. And y'all, to know that like at these golf courses, it's like that for real. They have like live animals that's out there on the course. And from time to time there might be a gator out there. You tell me there's a gator on a golf course, I ain't going. I'll take my putters and go to Top Golf. Have a nice day. Good day, Gator. Good day. They saw Lady Virgo says they darn sure ain't no turtle or snail. They will outrun you. Yes, they can. Them things run wild. I'm trying to tell you. It's the reason why they tell you, hey, you got to run zigzag to get away from them. So wait, did they really just continue to stand there? Yeah, they just stood there. You don't believe me? Watch it.
You know, it's sneaking up on you. Yo, is it worth it?
Bro, my ball right here, bro.
Is it worth it?
He's sneaky as.
He watched.
Bro, already took a drop. Already had one drop. Bro, if I go down here, he go underneath the water, bro. It's over.
Brother, what do you think? What's the call?
What you mean?
Do you play the ball?
Look at him, bro.
Or you play the gator? You play the ball on the gator. It's your dad, man.
Nah, you ain't playing that. All right. He go.
And for those that don't play golf, to do drops, it affects your score very badly to where you'll have to shoot for how you would say a better putt to have a higher to offset that score. So if you ever seen a golf tournament and those people that have the negatives, their negatives are a good thing. The ones that have the positives, those are bad. Those mean that they're over the amount of strokes for each hole. Each hole is given a certain amount of strokes to get to the putting hole. So when they're up there talking about this is a par 5, they have 5 strokes to reach the goal of that particular portion of the whole tournament. There are other holes that are less than that. So if he was on this particular portion of the course where he earlier had a drop, his score is already out of range. And he's worried about it. Because, like, the drops usually add 2 to 3, depending on what part of the course you're on. And so if you started off at 0 and you went and had a drop, now you're at +2 or 3. If you have to do another drop, now you end up further 5, 6. Then it's harder to get back to 0. When you're in the negatives, you're ahead, meaning on this course that you were supposed to shoot it in 4, say you did it in 3, you're now -1 on that course. And it goes so forth as you go around the full course of the tournament. It's quite interesting. I learned all of this from playing Wii Golf on Nintendo Wii. Trust me, I had no interest in learning golf until I played it on Nintendo Wii. And that's where I will go back to playing. Keeping it gator safe. Oh my God. Oh man. She said, so wait, did he really just continue to stand there and wait for the golf ball? Yes. Yes, he did. And I'm like, why? I would either leave that ball or grab that ball with the quickness and be out of there. You know? Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And like you said right here, let it work and say, and if he would have slipped or fell accidentally, done. It's over. It's over for you, man. You're gonna fight LeBron. Imagine LeBron fighting a gator in that water, fighting for his life. Hilarious. She asked if we're still in the chat. Yeah, she's still there. She's listening. She said, yeah. I'm trying to find the alligator. I think I need new glasses.
Oh, look, watch out behind you. Watch out behind you.
There you go, right there. There you go, right there. In the circle. Well, man, you see it. The gator is right there. His hat is right here. That white part that's on the right. That's his hat. That gator ain't that far away. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a problem. LeBron, you was in danger, sir. Why would you stand there? I would have been, you see that gator? I'm out. The hell with that ball. But man said, no, sis. It's not your eyes. The gator is in the grass, in the water. Yep. Uh-huh. He would have to make the screen bigger. And I wish I could make the screen bigger. But that gator is right there in the middle of that circle, in the water. Sitting like this, looking at him. Head above the water. Hey, LeBron. Hey, lunch and dinner. Hey, big fella. Want to go for a swim? I got you. I'd be like, nope, no way, Jose, not me. Count me out. I'm out of here. It's like, he's LeBron James. He can't afford that. Just being out there all day. You can buy a new ball, right? Yeah, like she said. My man said you can't afford to just get a new ball. Yes, you're LeBron James. Get a new ball. Believe it or not, golf balls are expensive. The good ones, they are. She said, but man, exactly. Forget that. Dang ball. Absolutely. I'm not going, no. I would have been out of there like Roadrunner. She's like, oh, whew, I'm not blind. It was like, well, where's Waldo? Yeah, it was. It's sitting right there. Sitting right there. The whole time. Just sitting there. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's a problem. She said, my apologies. I thought he was hitting in the bushes. No, he was right there in the water. I was like, hey, bruh, sir. She's like, oh my God, that gator was close. A matter of seconds. And he have LeBron for dinner. Indeed. But man, you whew, out of there. Where's Watto? But where's the gator? I know somebody, a friend of the family, that when we went on a trip to Florida, he was like, I want to see some gators. So pull over to the side of the road over there. I want to see the gator. I said, no, you don't. Sir, no. You can see them at the zoo. And to think, down in Florida, they got a whole tour that they will take you out on a pontoon boat down there, and gator be riding right next to you while you riding through the water. I said, no, sir, not me. No, them things need to be kept behind glass and bars. Them wild ones, like this one. Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's sneaking up on you.
yo, this is yo. Is it worth it? Bro, my ball.
He is over here where that little ripple is going on the left side.
Right here, bro. Is it worth it? Yo, he's sneaky as.
Every time LeBron
Already took a drop. Already had one drop.
He come every.
If I go down here, he go underneath the water, bro. It's over.
Brother, what do you think? What's the call? do you play the ball?
Look at him, bro.
Or you play the gator? You play the ball on the gator, it's your dad, man.
No, you ain't playing that. All right. Here you go. Look, watch out behind you. Watch out behind you. Oh!
No, it's sneaking up on you.
Yo, this is.
Yo.
It's not. Is it?
Yo. I didn't believe it at first. I said, boy, y'all play. Y'all playing for real. Ain't no way. But like, oh, yeah, well, that gator was playing for keeps. I'm trying to tell y'all, I hope they got out of there. Because that gator was playing for keeps, for sure. Y'all, tomorrow night, we got something special coming up on the 26th. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Verzuz is back. And they are bringing us a treat. Tank versus Tyrese. Now, for me, I'm going to tell y'all a little something. I met Tyrese eons ago, back when he was on the Coca-Cola tour, back when he was starting out as a vocalist, when he had the piercing right here in his chin. The Always Coca-Cola commercial is still out there for y'all to see. I met that version of Tyrese several times during the summer. I met him when he was promoting his album, the one that had Sweet Lady on it, and got to sit down and talk with him a little bit. And I told him, like, back then that he was going to make it, like, and I meant that. Like, I don't say that to too many artists. Like, listening to his voice, hearing his story, where he came from out in LA, And it was just real person, real genuine guy. And I bumped into him maybe once or twice at years later down the road. I was at Howard Homecoming, and he was in the press box playing around on the loudspeaker microphone with calling the plays with the guys that were calling the plays up there. And he happened to look over at me, and I looked over at him, and I was like, what's up? And just kept it pushing. And I felt like at that moment in time, like he was like, do I know you? I think I know you. I feel like I know you. It was like, yeah, whatever, man. You do your thing, man. You know, I'm gonna do my thing, because back then I was doing camera work, doing recording for HBCU marching bands for 8 to 5 Entertainment, who is still out there. Shout out to 8 to 5 Entertainment, marching 8 to 5. You can look at all those videos on YouTube to this day. We're still out there promoting HBCU marching bands. And so I'm excited about this, because Tank, seeing his interviews and how colorful and funny he is, and knowing how funny Tyrese is, I know this event is going to be special. And D-Boys, they sing down. I'm trying to tell y'all. They sing. D-Brothers sing. Like what? My man said LeBron's not insurance company raises his premiums as soon as they seen this. Yes, indeed. Hey, Virgo said, "Lil, sis, you said, oop, your pants. My heart would have stopped." Indeed. The man says, nah, fight or flight would have saved you. Actually, the New Yorker and you might fight. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I enjoyed this. Listen, check out this one all night. It is, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be on Apple Music and on Instagram. You're going to post. That is VERZUZ TV on Instagram. Shout out to them. They got some good music right there. And speaking of music, I'm leaving off this night with a banger. This tickled my soul so much, I had to share it with y'all. Everybody knows Michael Jackson's movie is coming up in April. We're just a week away, I believe. Or somewhere like that. I don't know. Time is weird. But I recently came across this post that had me smile, chuckle every moment. Somebody had the nerve to act like Michael Jackson, squaring up. What I mean by squaring up? Boxing.
Yes, wait, okay.
Kickboxing and all that.
Yes.
Lord, Where in the world is this man going? Do y'all see this?
Yes. Wait. Okay.
The Iron Mike Jackson is what I put it as. Yo, this had me hollering. I lost it when he moonwalked in the ring. Did y'all see that? He doing the smooth criminal lean away from the swinging beat. The swinging bag. What is you doing? Man.
Yes. Wait. Okay.
Is y'all serious? He was doing the Thriller head thing. He was moving away from. Y'all, the moonwalk is diabolical. Absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
And the feet stand up. Y'all see the form and technique? This man is on fire.
Yes.
And I'm like, House of Highlight, y'all did one with this one. I am encouraging and laughing. I'm telling you, that thing on moonwalk take me out every time. Like, are you serious, bro? How you boxing and moonwalking back? And look, what's so funny about it? There was an episode of Martin where there was a Michael Jackson impersonator that fought and beat up Martin, and they were out there doing Michael Jackson moves, spins, and while fighting against Martin Lawrence. If you can ever find it on YouTube, I promise you, you will be in tears, real tears. Michael Jackson versus Martin Lawrence skit had me in real tears when I saw it in real time when it was on air, and then years later I saw it pop up on social media and about lost it all over again. But when I saw this right here, oh my God, the Iron Mike Jackson. Hee hee. Ooh. Oh my God. I can't. This has been a great evening, y'all. Oh my gosh. Did I do it? I think. Oh no, I didn't do it. Yeah. Here we go. Lady Virgo says, Mimir, yeah, but I'm not too sure. My heart problems. The Gator may have one up on me. Come on, Lady Virgo. New York tough. I'm pretty sure you can take down that Gator. Or at least kick it and run. She said my heart might be stopped before I could throw the first blow. I'm pretty sure, Lady Virgo, I know you got some kicks. And run. I know you got it. She said, it's the backstage scene for me. The upcoming new movie, yes. Oh my gosh. The comment down here, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee on the floor. Oh my God. What is wrong with y'all on social media? Y'all ain't got no sense that God gave y'all. None. Lemire says, it's funny because the odds of us getting mugged outside the grocery store are way higher than an animal attack. But I'm never afraid of going shopping. But my own backyard terrifies me. Hey, Lemire, that's real. That's real. Like if you live somewhere in this heavy woods and it's pitch black dark out there and you can't see nothing, no lights, nothing, no moon, no stars, nothing. Yeah, it will scare you. Your tree shaking. What was that? Something in the bushes. Peace. I'm out. Yo, around where I currently reside, there's an armadillo that runs around rampant in our yard. An armadillo. And I'm scared of rolling up on that joker, that it might do something. Now, like growing up in the city, somewhat suburbs of Washington, D.C., raccoons would run around the raccoons. Like, I ain't talking about the small itty bitty ones. I'm talking about real big ones. They would run around and knock over our trash cans. And one night we came home, them jokers was standing up on the trash can. And one of them did like this. I quietly got back in the car. You got it, big dog. Wow. My stepfather, God rest his soul, God bless, yelled at him. Hey, goddamn. I said, that's a raccoon, man. That's a raccoon. He tried to scare him away. And the raccoon ran back towards him and hissed at him. And he kicked the fence. That scared the raccoon away. I said, bro. No. Nope. No. Lady Virgo said, stop it. Lady Virgo. Lemire says, we'll make that gator into a fine pocketbook. Absolutely. She said, Lady Virgo said, I do not know how to do that. I could never get into a deep sleep. My anxiety would never allow me to relax. A bear in the woods in my backyard. Yikes. Man, that's one thing I'm afraid of coming across is a bear. Like I was driving along one day and saw a mountain lion in the mountains of Georgia and about lost my mind. Cause it didn't look real. But that joker was real is I'm coming to you live right now. And it started walking towards the street, and as cars was coming by, it ran back into the woods. I was like, hey. Y'all cool with this? And talking to the locals, they were like used to it. I was just like, hey man, that's a little scary. She said, my man said she saw Bigfoot around sometimes. Hey, I heard he up there in Canada now. Every now and then he'll come across the border. I don't know what he come over here in America to get, but he hang up out there quite often. Lady Virgo said, I know I could never survive in the neck of the woods from here. But could you imagine riding the subway? I heard about y'all rats up there in New York now. They look like possums. No. They look like cats. No. No, ma'am. Y'all can have it. Nope. Later, Virgo, the thought cracks me up. I be huddling up, rocking back and forth, bawling hysterically. And that's before I even get a subway ticket. Yeah. I understand. Like, and believe it or not, I grew up with a subway in Washington, D.C., and it was like riding a roller coaster at sometimes. Because, it moves fast. The one in D.C. moves pretty fast. Quite astonishing, actually. Lady Virgo says, I'm just seeing your comment about the pocketbook. Not if he makes me into a triple cheeseburger with pickles and fries first. Oh my gosh. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Lady Virgo says, oh, please, rats are uninvited pet cats in New York. See, uninvited pet? No, nope, nope. Rats, possum. Yeah. I'm glad you got to laugh about that. You got to. We got to laugh a little bit about life, man. Without it, we would be walking around a little hurt all the time. I hope I put a smile on. Yes. To kind of end our midweek wrap up of what is going on weekly out here. This has been your weekly dose of reality with your boy on Unveiled Vibrations. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And those that are interested, we have the conversation outside of this on the Discord. The Discord link is in the comments. I meant to drop it earlier, but I'm going to drop it right now. And voila. Join us on Discord. We love having a conversation over here. We're not really chatter, but we post something funny that we see, and if you share it there, it might be featured here on Unveil. You can hit me up on Instagram or on TikTok, because that is where I play throughout the week. And believe me, I have fun over there. This night, you can also find my music on all streaming platforms under TD McCollum. Tonight was a fluke. I had something that prevented me from coming at 8:30, but normally we're here at 8:30-ish to start the show, where we come up here, have the conversations, and laugh and joke about what we see out there in the world. You can meet me back here Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on YouTube, Faithful Warrior Ministry, where we're going to come together. We're going to pray. We're going to have a devotional reading. Me, Prophetic Fire Reiki, a.k.a. Jenacita, a.k.a. Jennifer, a lovely wife. Her brother, JoJo Speaks, and myself. It is a real fun family. We come together, like I said, read a devotion, have some prayer, socialize, catch up on life, and enjoy having a good time with each other. You want to support me? You can hit me up at Mr. TD McCollum at $ on CashApp. Email me, Mr. TD McCollum. And as always, my beautiful people, I like to end the show with some love to you. I appreciate you coming here tonight, spending it with me on this delayed start show. Started at 9, and we went the distance. It's a lot in this video, y'all. So if you happen to go back and do the replay, listen close. I talk about a lot of things. Drop some jewels on what's happening out here in these streets. The link to the Discord is there. Click it. It should take you there. She said, no, that's not a laughing emoji. That's a crab emoji. I understand. It made me chuckle a little bit because I empathize with you. I understand. The tears are real. Mamir says Krista had a possum living in her gazebo. What? It had babies. Can you imagine? Yeah. Mama possum don't play about their babies. You don't mess with them. Them and raccoons, you don't mess with them. They fight as a family. Lady Virgo. Mamir says, Lady Virgo, this was fun. I love you, sis. Have a good sleeping. Yes. Blessings and prayers. Absolutely. She said, no, I absolutely cannot. Mamir. Oh my gosh. Mamir, I say good night to you as well. This was fun. Thanks for the laughs. Tell Jen I said hi and blessings to you both. Blessings to you and my homie over there. your hubby. Tell him we miss him. Tell him to come Saturday. Sit down with you so we can enjoy our time with each other. And as always, man, I appreciate you all. If no one told you that they loved you, I do. I really do. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you joining me. It has been a night. Y'all get some rest, and we'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye for now.